For the first time in 46 years, the best of the best in the Sports Car Club of America return to the West Coast for the club's annual one-race battle for the title of champion in 27 classes. This year's three-day duel for the medals brings over 400 racers to California's Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca on the stunning Monterey Peninsula. It's time to seriously step up at the 2014 and 51st SCCA National Championship Runoffs. Welcome, everybody, to the 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Our first group of Day 3 is on the track, B-Spec and T4. Hayward, Wagner, tell us a little bit about those classes.
Taking to the track, B-Spec and T4. Touring classes in SCCA have born from a rich history of showroom stock racing. T4 are the momentum cars, your Miatas, your MX-5s. This is where the RX-8 and the Honda Civic are. Speaking of momentum, B-Spec, a newer class in SCCA for the smallest and lightest cars available from manufacturers. I spoke with Don Knowles, a multiple-time national champion SCCA competition. He loves these B-Spec cars. Why? Because you have to be perfect. You screw up any momentum in a B-Spec car and you're done. Every input has to be silky smooth to get to the front of this field.
That's absolutely perfect way to describe it. Jeff Lepper, you won a Pirelli World Challenge race in a B-Spec car. You've experienced that personally. By design, not much power, smooth is everything, isn't it?
Yeah, so that means I'm perfect, I guess, if I won the Pirelli World Challenge race. Can we?
Well, for that brief period, yes.
Brief period. But yeah, it really is. I mean, you got guys, like I said, it's the full spectrum.
Yeah.
Guys moving up, guys that are just retiring, kind of moving into, I want to have some fun on the weekends, but you have to be very, very precise, hit all those marks. You miss a shift in B-Spec, you go from first to last.
Absolutely, and being that there are two different categories racing here, there will be what they call a split start. First group, a little bit faster, the T4 cars. Izzy Sanchez, as we mentioned, the Corona bumper service, RX-8 on the pole over Dan Bender in his Bravo Trailers Mazda. Tom Wickersham in the Mazda MX-5 sits third, a former national champ. Lee Niffenegger sits in the fourth spot, the number 42 Honda Civic. Timothy Wise and Ali Naimi, we've seen Ali race so many years, such a great competitor. Fifth and sixth. Seventh, Matthew Stahl. Eighth, another national champion in the past, Lance Stewart. Stan Zaki starts ninth in the 00. Lynn Griffiths 10th. Brian Hustig, who we saw have that little spin here before we actually came into the race on the release, finding the limit in turn 6. He's going to be fast through there on the get-go. And Tony Lopez. Then you go to the B-Spec category, which will start. John Heinrichsey, fastest time was on that first qualifying run on Tuesday. It held up through the week in the Matic Chevrolet Chevy Sonic. We had the opportunity to see him race that car in the Pirelli World Challenge at Mid-Ohio. Ended up on the pole there too, so clearly has some good speed.
Yeah, that car is quick and Hein Rocket, like they call it.
Yep.
Watch for him moving through the field, or see if he can lead this flag to flag.
Absolutely. And by the way, Heinrichsey, if he wins here, he currently sits third in the all-time ranks of national championship runners, behind Jerry Hansen, who's just out of sight at 27 golds, but Dwayne Davis, 13, John Heinrichsey is 12. He can tie Davis for second if he can hang on today. Kyle Keenan, again, you just told that story about getting help from David Daugherty with the tires and the like, and Keenan then puts it up into second, the Kia Motors of America Rio. In the third spot, the number 8, David Daugherty, 8-time national champ in the Nissan Hoosier Tire Carbotech Nissan Versa. Fourth, the number 45 of Michael Say. Then 30 is Travis Wache, and in 6, number 12, Brian Kelm, who's a former national champion in T2. Then you've got Thomas Grossart in the 11, 80, James Wilson, who drove all the way here from Austin, Texas. What a story. In the car he's racing. Then Bobby Beyer and Scott Lovewell. So the pace car is in, and we have the first of our two classes, rounding turn 11, to kick off this final day of activity at the Runoffs as we determine our final 9 national champions. And boy, not a great split there, but they almost have to go green because they've got that other pack of cars coming up behind them. And so Izzy Sanchez had that little bit of a margin. Bender laying back just a little bit, and it didn't work. Sanchez, some big puffs of smoke out of the back, and I don't think that was tire lockup. We'll have to keep an eye on that as Izzy sweeps out of turn number 2. Bender right there, and I'm still seeing those little puffs of smoke, Jeff. We're going to have to watch that very closely. Wickersham and Niffenegger right in that picture as well, sweeping through. And everybody's solid at this point, up and into turn number 4. So now we're going to be looking and watching to see about the start in B-Spec. Here they come. This one looking much better. Heinrichsey, the number 35, the number 44 of Keenan to his right. Right behind them is David Daugherty. We are green in B-Spec. And again, boy, absolutely fantastic looking start. These guys did it right.
Yeah, Marcia Downey from Ohio Valley giving the green flag and did a great job there. Side by side, 3 wide down into turn number 2.
Yeah, Travis Washe timed it beautifully in his Indian Summer Mini Cooper and ducked around 8-time national champ David Daugherty and picks up that 3rd spot. Fantastic start by Travis Washe, but up front it is Heinrichsey, it is still Keenan, then Washe, then it is David Daugherty.
And remember, David Daugherty's in that brand new Nissan Versa Note. Only got 1 race weekend on this car, a few testing sessions, but that car in development for Nissan. Good to have another manufacturer added to the B-Spec fray.
Absolutely. I mean, it's an opportunity for the manufacturers to get involved at the truly grassroots level. And you know what we found? Certainly the racing in B-Spec on the pro level that we've seen is some of the best. It's just crazy stuff. Good fun. As we go back to the overall and T4 lead, it is Izzy Sanchez and Dan Bender already starting to draw away just a little bit. They are only separated by about 3/10, but they've already got a 2.5 seconds back to Lee Niffenegger, who has now gone around Wickersham and picked up that 3rd spot.
Yeah, he sure has. A good run for him. And this track is really good on real-wheel drive cars. It's, you know, it really rewards you. But the front-wheel drive cars, Lee Niffenegger doing a good job in 3rd place. So sad for him, you know, in that really was looking here to set the pole, go out and win, but up to 3rd and a podium for Lee Niffenegger. But it is Izzy Sanchez coming through turn number 4 in that Mazda RX-8, but now the Mazda MX-5 under pressure coming into turn number 5.
Yeah, putting on an intense show. You'd expect nothing less the way that these guys have been swapping things out here this whole weekend. Ooh, the Mazda runs just a little wide, the Mazda 8, I should say. And for a minute there, looked as though Bender might be able to slide through, not quite able to make that pass. And that smoke seems to be dissipating just a little bit. So it may have been just simply a warm-up issue that, you know, the car hasn't, hadn't been fully up to temp at this stage. Certainly isn't a lack of speed, that's for sure.
A little 2-stroke rotary, it might be smoking a little bit. Premix in there, and you get some oil. No, just kidding.
Yeah. Down we go through that iconic corkscrew. Not too far behind them, as we said. Niffenegger was able to get around Wickersham now. The question is whether that red Honda is going to be able to run these two down.
Yeah, 3 championships amongst the top 4 drivers in the T4 category right now, with Izzy Sanchez having 1, Niffenegger having 1, and Tom Wickersham having 1. Wickersham, local around here, running 3 different categories here this weekend, looking to try to see if he can get that 2nd gold medal here today.
Oh boy, and I'll tell you, Izzy is in defense mode, has Bender awfully quick, and you can see Izzy immediately made the move right to the inside of the wall, letting Bender know, you know, if you want it, you're going to have to go around the outside, and Bender saying, hey, just going to settle in here, and we'll just see, and we'll ride along just a little bit. That got Izzy way down to the inside. You can see Bender really tried to over-under it a little bit, just get a better drive out of 2 and try and do something with it. Izzy pretty savvy, though, had that RX-8 just right where Bender wanted to go.
Yeah, he's on that diamond line, as we've seen a lot of guys taking here this week, and you make 1 corner out of that double apex turn to number 2, the Andretti hairpin. Doing a great job there. Bender was on that more traditional double apex line, but makes Sanchez drop the hammer and drop that door, close that door.
Absolutely, it's interesting to watch her. You can see, you know, you've got a handling car, that MX-5. Look at that move. I mean, absolutely fantastic. He gets the great run out of 5, but that RX-8 just has a little bit more grunt up the hill, doesn't it?
Yeah, he sure does. A little bit more torque and a little bit more power out of the Mazda RX-8. MX-5, a lot more of a momentum car, as we see with that Honda Civic right behind these 2 cars, trying to catch up and play the spoiler amongst the Mazdas in the front.
And the interesting thing would be, whoops, so we've got the number 18 is off, Bobby Beyer in the Millen Works TRD and BF Goodrich Toyota Yaris. And trying to spot where that is here.
Down there in turn number 10, I believe.
Yeah.
Off the driver's left.
That's an easy one to get wrong. That downhill run and you overcharge it a little bit, you're going to have yourself a bit of an interesting ride as you come through there for sure. In B-Spec is still Heinrichsey over Keenan. Washe still 3rd, and this is the battle we're watching. That black number 30, that Mini Cooper, Travis Washe, right behind him, the number 8 of David Daugherty.
Well, he sure got up on that berm there in the exit of turn number 3 up on 2 wheels, and that's something we've seen a lot in B-Spec category. No harm, no foul there. That's just normal for these small subcompact cars.
You know, and if folks have been tuning in through the entirety of our runoff broadcast here, certainly in B-Spec, you might notice the absence of Joe Lipperini. And it's the first runoffs in 12 years that he hasn't been able to beat to. His beloved Maggie has been having some health issues. She's getting better every day. That's the great thing. But you know, there are priorities in life, and your loved ones are far more important than anything you do when you come out and play as great as this is. So, Joel, Maggie, we miss you. Maggie, keep getting better.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for the text message as well there, Maggie. We really appreciate it. And we'll see you guys at Daytona next year. Absolutely. Can't wait for you guys to come back.
Yeah, Joel's been a lot of fun to watch and certainly call in B-Spec in the Pirelli World Challenge. So,
oh, that's a bad area.
Yeah, that really
for that
is.
car to be down there.
And it looks like he may have broken something. That left front corner looks a little bit deranged, doesn't it?
Yeah, it sure does. Maybe it was an issue there. Hopefully it wasn't contact and he fell off and had a mechanical, but we'll have to see if we're going to get a full course yellow or not. Everybody's seen the car there, so we could just keep this under green and be safe, but if that isn't a high, and we do see the pace car lights on, I expect a full course yellow here pretty quick.
Yeah, it's certainly being considered. They've obviously had that pace car stand up. Interestingly here, right now, Heinersee, clear track, Jeff, remember what we were talking about where he had mentioned we have a little bit different gear. We run a little taller gear, just stock option in this Chevy Sonic. It's great. It gives us a little bit of an opportunity at the end of the straights, as long as we can get out of the turns well. Well, right now with clear track, as we get word, we're going full course caution, full course caution. Now that's going to bunch up, and I think for John that may have been a pretty fortunate deal, because you've got some guys that are starting to come around in T4, and if they get in the mix and slow him up a couple times out of the corners, those guys chasing him could have been right in the mix, and now we got a full course caution.
Yeah, I think this is going to take an advantage. We'll have to watch out what Lee Neffenegger does going to the strategy playing out. Rear-wheel drive, RX-8 and MX-5, traditionally at this track, a little better layout, and they're better on tires. Front-wheel drive, you're asking those front tires to do a lot with the suspension, the travel, the steering, the braking, the acceleration. We'll see. This will be great for Lee Neffenegger, able to cool those tires off a little bit, maybe save something for the end.
Yep, this track does take a bit of a pasting on those front-wheel drive machines. While we're under caution, we're going to step away here. We will be back, and we've got lots of racing yet to come in our combined T4 B-Spec Run to the Golds. So make sure you stay with us here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. The 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.
Big developments here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca in this 2014 SCCA National Championship Runoffs. The leader and pole sitter, the Tire Rack pole sitter in B-Spec in the pit lane. Hood is up as we go back to green, completing lap number 4. Lots of racing to go. Izzy Sanchez leads in T4, your overall leader. There in second, Daniel Bender and Jeff, as you alluded to, going to the break. Lee Neffenegger cools off those tires. He knows this is an opportunity. He's got to get something done in a hurry, but Heinersee in the pits, unbelievable.
Yeah, John Heinersee in that B-Spec Chevy Sonic, the Hein Rocket Matic Chevrolet. He's got the hood up, and he's lost a lap now, so that's going to be hard and devastating. I don't think we're going to see a 13 championship for Heinrichs.
Yeah, not going to happen. We get word now he is leaving pit lane, getting back on track, but huge developments here. Again, Bender on the attack, knowing he's got at this stage to get around Izzy Sanchez. There's a look at John Heinrichs as he has rejoined the track, but as you pointed out, Jeff, I don't know if he's going to go down a lap, but he's going to go down a good chunk of distance here, no question about that. Up the hill we go, and once again, Bender showing the nose, just doesn't have the power to make that run up the hill. Going to see here if Bender's going to try anything up into the corkscrew. Sanchez that's the normal line. We'll see if he stays there. Nope, he doesn't, but Bender's not close enough. Hayward, understand you've got some information on Mr. Heinrichs.
John Heinrichs brought the Sonic onto pit lane in limp mode. They did a reset of the ECU and sent him back out. The car just was not making power. They think they've got it solved.
Well, I'll tell you, that is one of the issues with the modern showroom stock, concept of racing those cars, is all those hidden codes when things go. Bender, again, taking a look. Sanchez defending. Now Bender going to try and make the move around the outside. Oh, and Izzy just drove right to the almost to the gravel trap there. Sanchez had, Bender had to get out of it, or he could have ended up stuck.
Yeah, and the advantage to this is going to be Lee Neffenegger. If those guys keep battling back and forth like this and blocking each other, which I'm not seeing that. Look at that, Lee Neffenegger right to the outside, Greg.
Well, those Hondas do have a bit of grunt, and they can get it done. But he opens that door up just a little bit, and there's big opportunity as Tom Wickersham is going to try and slide right back down and underneath. Wickersham driving a Mazda MX-5, so we know that thing's awfully good handling, and he's going to try and make this park around the outside. Nippenegger gives him room, and it looks like that. Well, let's see now. He's going to try and get back to the inside and forward. Not going to happen. Wickersham is through.
Yeah, Wickersham really closed the door on him there to number 4, but Neffenegger making the move back to the outside. Nope, tucks back in behind. It's a Mazda 1, 2, 3 here in T4.
Well, unbelievable at this point, watching what Sanchez is just under huge attack from Bender. And Bender's just got to be relentless, doesn't he? He's got to just fight for every bit he can and hope that Izzy makes just a little bit of a space. When you start to enter, angle in earlier into those corners in a little bit, change the lineup and as you said, the guys behind you are coming after you. Oh, Hustig is off. And
turn number 4.
Boy, that's interesting to have that happen right there. And again, another dangerous spot, Jeff. If he doesn't get going, there's just no opportunity.
It is a hard-packed dirt before you get to the sand trap there, and it looks like he was on that, so hopefully he can get that car going. But that's his second high-speed exit from the racetrack in the day. The first one on the transfer lap coming up to the grid.
Yeah, look at this. Exactly. Here we go again. Bender's such good speed. And it's all for naught, as I think the double yellows. Yep, the double yellows have just flown, and we are under full course caution once again. So this race interrupted with a little bit too much regularity here. With it's just you can't leave cars in impact zones. Doing the right thing, but it's frustrating. I'm sure for the drivers too.
Yeah, and I'm going to see how this is going to play out, because I believe Heinrichs got ahead of the B-Spec class, but he's behind the T4 cars. He's sort of right in between there. I don't know if they're going to give him a wave by and let him go around the T4 cars and catch back up to the back of the T4 or the B-Spec grid. Traditionally, that's what should happen. He should be able to get back to the back of the T4 cars. We'll see if that happens or not. The B-Spec cars.
There he is right now, so we're going to see what's going to happen here, how this is going to play out once he catches the back of the field. At this point, we'll see how that's going to happen here. So up front again, Sanchez, Bender, Wickersham, Neffenegger in the T4 category. In B-Spec, it's currently Kyle Keenan is in the lead, the number 44 over the 30 of Travis Wache, then David Daugherty, then the 45 of Michael Say, and completing the top 5 is 12 is Brian Kelm. And so that's your top 5 in the B-Spec order right now. And what we're just kind of wondering is, are they going to give Heinrichs the wave around? And we'll see whether that's going to work. If he doesn't, he's basically, he's almost a lap down to B-Spec. He's on the lap, but he's almost a lap down. If they wave him around, then he'd be right at the back of the field.
Which I think is what should happen.
All comes down to what the by rule and what the officials are going to do. And there's 2 cars involved, so it wasn't just Hustig going off by himself. And Stan Saki has that right front. You can see it's broken on that car, so it looks like there may have been a little contact possible.
Unfortunate, and I know Brian Hustings was having braking problems all weekend long here on that Chevy Cobalt. Got that fixed, but major damage. Hopefully it wasn't from contact, and it was just I don't know, that looks pretty bad there. You never know. Two guys looking for that same piece of real estate on the racetrack, and unfortunately now two guys, races are over.
Yeah, that's unfortunate. And it's possible it was just a mechanical failure, and you know, that happens too.
That's good though. He's out there walking around. It's good to see.
Yeah, have a look at the car, trying to figure out exactly what happened. And look at Bender here under the caution. He's just moving into Izzy's mirrors under caution, going, "I'm here, bud." And that's a good psychological ploy. Just keep that guy. You know, make sure that you know, you're just always in those mirrors, and hope he just makes that little bit of a mistake.
Well, of course, all the cars here are on a 20-lap race or 40 minutes,
yes,
whichever comes first. We've had 2 caution flags here, and this is one of our slower categories of classes, T4 being the slowest of the touring car categories, and of course B-Spec being the, I'd hate to say the slowest categories of car here, but they are. They're the smallest cars, the lowest horsepower, momentum cars, but they're still race cars. They're still wheeling these to their absolute top potential, but we'll see if we come into a timed race here. We'll have to keep track of that just now completing. When they come back around, it'll be lap number 8. So
yeah,
12 to go after
that's
that.
a very good point that you bring up. There is a 40-minute limit here. And you know what? Yeah, they are the slowest cars of the track, and that's the class. I mean, you know, everybody knows that. It's not, you know, it isn't an insult. It's just a fact. And the thing is when you know, like we've been able to see in the, you know, the Pirelli World Challenge, and certainly at SCCA club events around the country, oftentimes the best race of the weekend is B-Spec because they just put on such an immense show.
Absolutely. And if you just joined us here, you got a good shot there of that black armor carbon fiber helmets Mazda 2 of James Wilson. The guy drove that car out here 1,806 miles from Kyle, Texas. Put all the cars in there, so back to the original showroom stock racing. You drive your car to the track, you get to drive it home, hopefully. We don't want to jinx them or anything, but James Wilson doing a great job, averaging 36 miles per gallon on that 1,806 mile trip. And I got to give just a huge shout out to what he does in his company, Black Armored Carbon Fiber Helmets. It's, you know, everybody's going to these new carbon fiber helmets, and they're $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. He manufactures these Black Armor helmets, and they're about $600, $700.
Wow.
So kind of helps the club racer get into the safety, because what's your head worth? I think it's worth I know my head's worth a lot as big as it is.
Well, that's just the amount of carbon fiber that's got to go around. But yeah, I mean, you know, that's a good point, because if you're racing at the very grassroots level, you know, penny pinching is huge just to try and get there. And then you can't afford $2,000, $3,000 for a helmet. And if you can find one that is just as effective for a third the cost, that's absolutely great to see. We're getting word we can expect now up by turn 8, which is the corkscrew here, to see the lights on that pace car go off, and we should be back to racing here. As you said, Jeff, we'll be completing lap 9. Not quite to halfway, and we'll be at that point keeping a very close eye on the time count as well, just in case this does tick over into a 40-minute race as the lights are out.
Yeah, lights are out, and you do see John Heinrichs on the back of the T4 grid, so the B-Spec grid is behind him, so he's that far back to the B-Spec category cars. Was not able to get away by and catch the back of the B-Spec field, and he'll have to play some major catch-up here as he goes back up through the track, trying to catch back up to the back of the B-Spec.
And here we go now, the lights out, heading down into turn 11. It'll be interesting to see if, you know, what kind of pace he is able to have with the back of this T4 field. We're going back to full race chat, that's for sure. Green is out, and Bender once again glued to the back of Izzy Sanchez. He timed it to perfection. Actually gets a little bit of a run on Izzy. We know that RX-8 has a little bit more motor, but if Bender can stay put, and he now into the braking zone, this is where that MX-5 absolutely excels. Watch for the turn in here. Izzy's going to be very, very aggressive, you know that. Bender on the outside. This might be exactly what he needs. Izzy gives him room. Now to the inside of turn 3, Bender into the lead. Sanchez now second, and Niffenegger right there.
Well, what a great move, holding it right to the outside. Izzy drops a couple wheels off. Now he's under attack from Niffenegger coming down into turn number 4, but good job by Bender right to the outside of the Andretti hairpin for the lead in T4.
Absolutely fantastic, and now it'll be interesting to see, is he just able to calm it back down and do what he needs to do? Sometimes you get a pass like that on a restart, you know, you get that little red mist, you get flustered a little bit. Niffenegger is certainly hoping that's the case, as is Wickersham right behind him in that silver. Mazda as they climb the hill through the very tricky turn 6. Bender hitting his marks absolutely beautifully. And you'll notice on the side of Bender's car, it says the Auto Barn. That is a big car dealership in the Chicago area. One of the products they sell are Mazdas, and that's what he does for a living away from the racetrack. He sells Mazdas.
Well, good job there.
Proudly so, yeah.
Mazda doing a good job. First and second and fourth, fifth and sixth in this T4 field right now, with Tom Wickersham in fourth, Ollie Nami in fifth, and Timothy Wise in sixth.
And there's Lee Nivenegger, as we talked about, the one non-Mazda up in that group right now. As we go back and see what's unfolding in what is proving to be an interesting B-Spec race. And the number 44 of Kyle Keenan hangs on to the lead, but boy, that Mini Cooper of Travis Washay is all over the back of him for the lead.
Yeah, and he got that great start and capitalized on that, able to keep the momentum going up, and B-Spec is what you need. And Kyle Keenan leading, but boy, Wasay, that Travis Wasay and that Mini Cooper right on the back bumper of Kyle Keenan. And don't count out David Daughtery back behind you. The second these guys get side by side, that door closes in Daughtery. If you've seen our live coverage there at Pirelli World Challenge, you've seen that happen day in and day out, race by race.
Certainly, yeah, absolutely. These are such momentum cars. Any kind of a change, somebody who's laying back there and being smooth, hitting their marks, is going to have a big opportunity. And once again, we're seeing that little bit of a difference, aren't we? Kyle Keenan, that Kia Rio, certainly has some good legs, but once you get into the twisty bits, that Mini Cooper, the Mini Cooper of Travis Washay, the Indian Summer Racing Northern Cross machine, he just comes right back into it.
Yeah, he sure does. And the Kia his braking is really good too. I get a chance to drive the Kia Rio. Not sure about the Nissan Versa Note. A little under power from what David Daughtery says. They need just a little bit of help. The Honda Fit, traditionally we saw it with Joe Liparini, national champion, in his Honda Fit. Those fits are quick, and Brian Price won the Pirelli World Challenge Championship in a Honda Fit this year, sitting in 4th place.
Yeah, and right behind him is Brian Kelm in the number 12, the Carbotech BF Goodrich Ford Fiesta. Again, that's that great variety that we see in the B-Spec category. As I said, Brian Kelm raced A sedan for years, won his national championship in T2. Slightly different horsepower package than what he's running here, and doing a superb job.
Yeah, different horsepower package and a different layout, I believe. A little small front-wheel drive. But a good job from James Wilson with this group too. One of the old Irish Mike's Ford Fiestas of Kelm's car, getting that car going. And it's another one of those older gentlemen just coming out here having a good time. Doesn't have to do a lot of work to the car. Gets to come do a race and live the glory.
Yeah, and Wilson, again, keeping in mind that he's got to load all this stuff up in that car and drive it another 1,806 miles back to just outside Austin, Texas. He's fighting for a top 5 at the Runoffs right now. That's a great story.
That's amazing, yeah. 1,806 pampered highway miles, and you come here and you're going to have about a couple hundred just hard miles. I think it might have been a little easier on the car driving it cross country than it was doing the races here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
I don't think there's any doubt about that. Boy, that that ride home, get everything loosened up, brakes used up and the like. That could be an interesting little ride. But boy, I tell you, he has absolutely a great run out of turn 11 and is reeling in again, Brian Kelm. So really has some good speed here. He's got a shot at this top 5. This is great.
Absolutely. He's sitting in 6th right now. He might be up to 4th right after this.
Yeah, was that 1,806 miles? Was that just breaking it in? That's how you bed brakes and everything in the car.
Well, James Wilson's done a Pirelli World Challenge race at Circuit of the Americas before, so he's got some miles on that car already. And to come out here and be able to race that car at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca, gets a good run out of turn number 3, right on the back bumper of Kelm now, coming through 4.
By the way, Bender up in the T4 category just turned the fastest lap of the race so far to 1:45.46, has opened the margin up to about 2 seconds right now over Izzy Sanchez, with Nivenegger, Wickersham, and Ali Nami in the completing the top 5. And down the hill, I believe that now is the 25. That's Timothy Wise, who sits in the 7th spot. Ooh, there was a look there by the 17, Lance Stewart, trying to figure out a way through. Couldn't quite get it done. And Stewart, in that number 17 machine, showed on the entry list actually that he was going to be running a Mazda, but he opted to go to the Mustang. And of course, the Mustang won this class T4 last year in the hands, I think, of Michael Skornovaki. So I think Lance was looking at, well, what's the best package? Some guys will do that. They'll have a few different cars that they'll look at and just kind of determine which one's best for which track.
Yeah, they really want to see what the best layouts are, and we said Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca sort of favors those rear-wheel drive cars. Now he has that Ford Mustang V6 version of the Ford Mustang here, but T4 last year we had Skornovaki, Neffenegger, Vandersloot. Makes it a little easier when those guys don't show up, but we do miss them. We'll see them back at Daytona. Hopefully we'll see Vandersloot and Skornovaki in the T4 category at Daytona next year.
Yeah, those tough names to string together into a tight battle. Stewart.
Yeah, like
nice.
that. That's
like
good.
that one.
Smith, Jones,
exactly.
works great.
Stahl, I think the guy who's right in front of Stewart here. And Matthew, by the way, that number 24, that's the Honda Racing HPD BF Goodrich Tires Civic, having a very, very good run here as he's now fought his way up and around and sits in 7th with Timothy Wise 6th right in front. There's Timothy. Then there's Matt and Lance Stewart having a good battle. And again, that's that variety, a Honda Civic and a Mustang going at it in T4.
Yeah, Matthew Stahl just got done doing a triathlon as well, so good job for him. I don't think I would even do that on purpose or on a bet if you got me to do it, but you know, completed his new that. Look at that, right up over there to the second place. Izzy Sanchez under attack now from Tom Wickersham.
Yeah, Wickersham, you know, again, it's basically what we saw before with Bender. That Mazda MX-5 behind him has the handling, has the mid-corner speed, the entry speed, and that RX-8 has just a little bit more straight line speed, so it's just staying relentless. And that smoke is back, Jeff, and it's actually picking up just a little bit again.
Yeah, not sure what happened to Neffenegger there. He was in 3rd last time by, and he dropped back to 4th with Wickersham getting around him. Don't know if there was a mistake there, some contact with himself and Izzy Sanchez or Wickersham, but now Wickersham up into that final podium spot, under attack from Izzy Sanchez.
Absolutely, there's that smoke again from Sanchez. Boy, Wickersham gets so deep down into that turn, and that's just that handling on that MX-5. Trying, just for a second there, looked like he was going to try and pop to the inside as they get to 3. And he is now running Wickersham as the better part of a second quicker than Sanchez on that last lap. And I wonder if Neffenegger trying to stay with Sanchez and do something again, asking those fronts to do an awful lot. And you spend a lot of time in long duration left-hand turns here, so that right front really takes a pasting, doesn't it?
Oh, it sure does. Takes a beating. Those BFGR1s, though, doing a good job on Neffenegger's car, really adapting that. We've seen that here all race long in the T4 category, but all runoffs long, where the battle between Hoosier and BF Goodrich right now, where the BF Goodrich seem to last a little bit longer and come in a little bit later. The Hoosiers, a very soft compound tire, really good and consistent all race long, but maybe falling off just a little bit at the end with that softer compound tire. We'll see how this plays out near the end of this race.
It certainly has been entertaining, no question, and it's certain. And that climb up the hill, you can see Izzy just opens that margin up using that bit of power. But by the time they get down to the bottom and turn 11, Wickersham just seems just great flow through these sections, isn't he?
Yeah, it sure is. This is where that Mazda MX-5 is going to excel in the handling portion of Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Back on the backside of the track, going up that hill, you'll see the Mazda RX-8 have a little bit of advantage out of turn 6 and up into the corkscrew. Boy, big sideways move there from Izzy Sanchez in that Mazda RX-8. He goes right down to the middle on the left to defend that inside, coming up underneath that Mazda Raceway bridge at start finish and down into the Andretti hairpin.
Completing lap 14, 6 to go on our double run to the National Championships for T4 and B-Spec. And once again, down into the Andretti hairpin, you can see Wickersham just eats him alive under braking. Now gets the nose there, but Izzy has that inside line as they get up to turn 3. And I was wondering if, I think there's a couple little taps there.
Yeah, I think we lost a turn signal on that MX-5 there with that bump.
Yeah, and I think Wickersham was just going, come on, man, I'm keeping my momentum alive here and trying to get the run. I thought Wickersham might try and just stay parked on the outside going into 3, and because that's sort of what Bender did, if you remember. He did the outside through 2, and then the same thing in 3, so.
Yeah, using the power. That's a nice flat corner there through turn number 3. So if you have an extra power, some extra torque, you can really take advantage on the exit of turn 3. And Izzy Sanchez using that to its full potential of that RX-8.
Well, and that's exactly the plan. When you've got a car that has the torque / horsepower advantage, not quite the handling through the roll speed in the mid corner, your whole goal is to slow down that guy with that roll speed, because then you're going to have a big advantage climbing up these hills.
Yeah, big advantage, and Izzy Sanchez knows how to use that, a past SCCA Runoffs champion, mind you, back in 1983, but he does a lot of local racing up here in the San Francisco region of the SCCA, and got a lot of laps around this great track.
San Mateo, California is home for Izzy Sanchez, and doing, as you said, a great job, the San Francisco region. As we go back to our B-Spec battle, it looks like Kyle Keenan's now been able to open up that margin up to 7/10 of a second officially, across the line over Travis Wache, and David Daugherty's still there and watching. But look at this. Boy, Sanchez almost drove right to the wall.
Yeah, right there up and giving his crew guys a high five, I guess, as he comes on by.
it's going to be interesting. It's going to be interesting here. The officials take a look at stuff, and they will carefully watch and go, was that a good defense or was that blocking? And you get a little bit too aggressive sometimes, that can come back to bite you. So far, Izzy has been able to make it work, but that time they were so down to the wall, and Wickersham was so close, Jeff. We didn't see the start of that, but it looked like it could have been very, very close for sure, at least.
Yeah, we're watching this battle for second in our T4 category as Daniel Bender. You saw him just on the top of your screen there on the exit of turn number 5. He has checked out. Last lap, he was 2.2 seconds quicker than second and third place. This battle we see on your screen right now.
Well, I think that's what's frustrating, no doubt, Wickersham big time, is I think he knows if he can get around and have clear track, he's probably a bit quicker. And every time Sanchez moves way to the inside and defends coming in, that just slows your entry into the corner. Therefore, it slows your roll speed and exit. And I mean, Bender's looking in his mirrors and just grinning.
Yeah, Bender just putting a tattoo on the field. We mentioned that before. 2.5 seconds was 2.2 seconds was the gap last time that he did a 1:45 versus a 1:47 for these guys right here, and really just out there driving around in that Autobarn Mazda MX-5. Good job for him.
Absolutely. You get that little bit of a margin, and now you just focus on just clocking the laps off, being smooth, keep the tires underneath you. Meanwhile, these two guys behind you are in this big old brawl, and so they're just going to be using stuff up more and more intense. And again, that time Wickersham just didn't get through 11 quite as clean, did he? And then on this long run up to the Andretti hairpin, just lets Izzy draw away. But watch under the braking here. It's just amazing how much ground Wickersham will make up.
Yeah, make it a nice straight line braking there right to the inside.
Yeah, just fantastic stuff. Out back onto the exit of turn 2, swinging out, just trying to open those radiuses up.
Yeah, doing all that. We saw Lee Neffenegger come through turn number 6 before, way sideways in his Honda Civic Si. He's really pushing, trying to catch this battle and try to get that final podium spot.
Yeah, I think he's really he's dealing with those front tires. I mean, the Civic it's a great car, but it just asks so much of those fronts. And it's, any tire will just eventually get used up and abused here because you're pushing so hard. But there it is. Little bit of a mistake by Sanchez. And I think that was clearly a reactive move. And that's the kind of thing that the officials will start to look at very, very carefully.
Yeah, you do that. I don't know. I dropped my 2 wheels off. It took me that much time to get my wheel back straight. But, you can argue it as much as you want to go. But
that's your story, and you'll stick to it.
But yeah, Izzy Sanchez definitely in full defense mode over Tom Wickersham, trying to come down out of the corkscrew down here into the rainy curve, turn number 9 down the hill. A very intimidating corner here that really drops off on the exit. You don't want to fall off to driver's right there, but you got to get that car right back to the left and in down to turn 10. You hit that dip, come off. Right there, you lose the grip on the exit and hard into the braking zone for turn number 11.
And look at Wickersham just closing it up. Now flowing through, and that smoke out of Sanchez's car is pretty constant right now. You see it very frequently, but there's that just period. It doesn't seem to be slowing him down in terms of that straight line ability at all. And Wickersham tried to get a little bit of a toe, and Sanchez just drove away.
Yeah, right off that exit, turn number 11. Here's Wickersham again. Hard braking down into the Andretti hairpin. Nice straight line braking. Gets that Mazda MX-5 rotated off the exit. Gets a good jump on the exit of turn number 2 down here into turn number 3.
Yep, completing lap number 17. Bender out in front now by 8 seconds. Gives you an idea of as you said, the tattooing that he's doing. Sanchez, Wickersham, this great battle. Nifenegger 4th, Ali Naimi in 5th. In B-Spec, it's Kyle Keenan continuing the lead. Now he's got a 2-second lead over Travis Wache. Then David Daugherty, another 1.7 seconds back. Michael Tse sits in the 4th spot, the number 45, and the 12 of Brian Kelm right there. And right behind them, still James Wilson in that car he drove, putting on a battle. And as I say that margin was up to 2 seconds, it certainly isn't at this point. Boy, I tell you, that Mini all over. That's a lap car. Sorry about that. That's the 71 of Derek Ambrose.
Yeah, Scott.
These guys. Yeah,
Scott Lovewell right behind him in the Mini. The good battle here in our B-Spec category. I believe this is the battle for 7th or 8th in our B-Spec category with that Mazda 2 and that Mini Cooper right above them. You see James Wilson. He is sitting in 6th place in our B-Spec right now.
Continuing that great story, but the battle at the front, as I said, Keenan, Wache, Daugherty, those are the medals at this stage in our B-Spec run. But these guys, you know, and that's the thing. You know, you find, you know, even if it is for 7th, 8th, 9th, you get into a good scrap with somebody, you are racing hard and having a great time, and that's all part of the SCCA racing mentality. You know, it's a club. It's about fun. It's serious. You want to go out and win, but you always want to get out of the car if you can, regardless of where you finish, with a smile.
Well, Kyle Keenan does just that. He's works as a mechanic in Kia in a dealership in Washington State. They actually built that car in the shop, able to come out and campaign it here locally in his region and in the Pacific Northwest down here in Thunder Hill. He's run some Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca races with it, getting qualified in the major tour, and you know, just everybody in the shop pitching in to get a car coming out, and he gets all the glory of getting to drive it.
There you go. But it is a team sport. Those crews are the unsung heroes, no doubt. And here we go again. And Wickersham has gone around Sanchez, finally making that pass. Now, I think Bender's with now coming up on 2 laps to go is going to be a bit too far up the road. But it'll be interesting now to see whether Wickersham is able to just, you know, with the pace, open it up a little bit here. This is where Sanchez, if he's got an answer, it's going to be on this climb up the hill.
Yeah, he's going to really want to tuck in there. I think you want to save it if you can get right on the back bumper and stay as close as you can to Wickersham through this lap. Maybe try to make a move with 1 lap to go, which we should be seeing that white flag for Bender next time by.
And Ali Naimi's starting to come after Lee Niffenegger just a little bit, isn't he?
Yeah, sure is. Niffenegger really pushing that Honda Civic Si. We've seen him sideways through a lot of these corners, really pushing as hard as he can, and that sort of brought up Ali Naimi and Timothy Wise into the mix now.
So this one's not done. This is the battle for the final medal, the bronze medal here in, excuse me, it's for 4th, just outside of the medals. Niffenegger, Naimi, and Wise. It's Bender, Sanchez, and Wickersham, the top 3 right now. Ooh, and there's what you're talking about.
Yeah, Ollie Naimi is pushing there. You saw that offline racing. There's the white flag for Bender. 1 lap to go for your overall and race leader in T4.
And one proud papa. Whoa, big spin there. That's Timothy Wise. Well, he's going after it and just got away from him, obviously. But now that allows the number 14 of Ali Naimi to just drop the mirror down and start focusing on a way around Lee Niffenegger in that 4th spot.
It did see some damage out of the left rear. Timothy Wise, not sure if there was some contact between Ollie Naimi and Niffenegger on that exchange, but he got back underway, no harm, no foul. I was trying to talk about Ollie Naimi. He's got on the bottom of that door, it says offlineracing.com, one of the local regions here, and somebody just kicking up some dust, and it's got a little hairy there when you see a big dust cloud driving into that. You see Lee Niffenegger pulling off the race line just in case.
Well, you don't know if that guy's still sitting there trying to get back onto the track, and you certainly don't have great visibility through there, so smart move by Lee. He's got a few laps in his career. He's got a bit of experience.
And now they're into the B-Spec category, lap traffic coming through here. I don't think that'll be much of a factor here on the last lap, but if you do catch that little Honda Fit on the wrong part of the track and get hung up that hill, it could be devastating and lose 4th position pretty quick.
Meanwhile, Mitch Bender.
Now
well,
that's
actually
Dad.
the son.
Yeah, Mitch is on the wall.
Mitch
cheering
enjoying,
him on.
Mitch watching, and Danny is absolutely clocking it right now, and he is going to bring home a national championship pending any issues down here as he gets into this traffic. And that Autobarn Mazda has been absolutely superb, and he's got enough room. He doesn't try and, he doesn't need to force the issue getting through these guys before 11. Just wait till you get to the exit. There's the turn. Roll into the throttle, and one of those guys way off over there, and Bender, plenty of room. Here he comes. Tremendous day for Danny Bender as he brings home a national championship, 1st of the final 9 to be crowned here on this day. This in the Touring 4 category, and there's the rest of that battle coming home. And 2nd, Tom Wickersham, he'll pick up the silver. Izzy Sanchez will hang on for the bronze, and it was a drag race to the line, and Ali Naimi got Lee Niffenegger by 47 1/1000ths of a second. It was that close that he was able to sneak through. Absolutely incredible. And now we're going to be keeping our eye out for the B-Spec category, where since the issues befell pole sitter John Heinrichsey, Kyle Keenan has had the opportunity to lead this one away. Travis Wache not quite able to match the pace, but on that last time through, I was just going to say, David Daugherty has run down Wache. It was 0.5 of a second last time through, and we've got half a lap here for a multiple national champion, 8-time now after winning one earlier, to have a shot at it.
Yeah, he's going to pressure Wache. Goes a little wide in the rain coming down the hill. David Daugherty to the outside trying to tuck right in here, maybe make a move down here into turn 11. Not sure how this is going to play out. The guy in the catbird seat here, though, however, it could be Michael Say in that Honda Fit. We don't know. Coming down here into turn number 11, Greg.
Well, and I thought for a minute that Daugherty was just going to go for the absolute late dive bomb move, but he tucked back in. Oh, and he did get the number 30 of Wache to run a little bit wide. I don't think it's going to be enough. Here comes Kyle Keenan, your second national champ on the day in B-Spec. The battle to the line goes to Wache. The silver with David Daugherty bringing home the bronze, but Daugherty made up in those last couple of laps, almost 2 seconds. So, boy, he was just saving enough. He just didn't have quite enough time to make it pay.
Yeah, not we're there, but congratulations to Wache with 3 entries into Pro League World Challenge, and David Daugherty getting 1.
Yeah, absolutely. We just got word that our GoPro Hero Move of the Race Award in the T4 category goes to Tom Wickersham, that relentless pressure, and then finally making that move, getting around and picking up that great run that he had to second place.
Yeah, good job for him getting that GoPro Hero 3 camera. Congratulations there. And there is the man, your T4 national champion, Daniel Bender. Good job for him.
Absolutely. The Auto Barn back in Chicago. Loving this moment here. Enjoying it a lot. And of course, when you win a gold medal at the Runoffs, you get to stop at that very special spot in the pits, because that means our Hayward Wagner is going to be doing a bit of an interview with you as they drape that nice medal around your neck.
And see Dean Case there for Mazda. Mazda 1, 2, and 3, 4. Top 4 spots in T4 here at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca.
Well, they're going to be loving that, no question. As rest of the gold medal, or the medal winners, I should say, coming in and getting set for the interview process. Helmet is now coming off of our national champion, Danny Bender, and there it is. He's got the, as I think, Hayward, you said it before, one more layer and he's ready for you.
All right, we're here in pit lane with Daniel Bender, your winner in Touring 4. Daniel, it took 1 pass to win the race. Talk about that pass.
Got a good jump on the restart. Izzy was being real aggressive on the restart, so I just tried to get a better run out of 11 than him. Went green, got the gear shift right, was able to make it stick on the outside of 1 and pass him into 3 and clean from there.
From there, it looked like you had pretty good sailing. You were pretty clear. Did you just kind of get a rhythm and find it and go?
Pretty much, sort of the goal at the beginning of the race was, if I could get in front, just sort of keep ticking off lap time after lap time, sort of find the groove, keep it smooth, and keep it on track and bring it home.
Yep.
You were driving this Mazda MX-5 on the BFG tires. How was the car for you today?
Oh, fantastic. Those BFGs are awesome, man. We started with new ones. It was awesome. You get your good laps in there, and they're just so consistent, for the whole run. It's just unbelievable. I mean, I was just able to just lap after lap after lap, no fallout.
Well, you've got 1 more lap coming. This one's holding a checkered flag. We'll let you jump in the car and take that victory lap. A big congratulations to you. We're going to step over to our winner in B-Spec next. Try to get a word in with our B-Spec winner here, if we can just have a quick word. Kyle Keenan.
I've been waiting 15 years to talk to you.
Says he's been waiting for 15 years to talk to me. John Heinrichsey had that problem early on. He pulled into the pit lane. When you saw that, was that your opportunity?
Oh man, I knew John was going to run away with it, but our Kia Motors Decanna dealership's Kia was just on fire, and I knew that if I could just stay close, that I stood a chance. And I'm sorry for John. I don't know what happened to him. It sounds like something, but I owe a massive congratulations and thank you to my team for all their hard work, and most of all, thank you to this man right here, David Daugherty. For those who don't know, he ended up loaning me his extra set of tires, which ended up being the winning move today. So thank you so much to him, and thank you so much to everybody. I mean, this is amazing. I can't believe this.
Now you're going to get a pretty special mark in history. This is the first SCCA Club Racing National Championship for the Kia mark. What does it mean to you to be able to do that?
Everything. I mean, Kia gave me an opportunity 2 years ago. I mean, they took a chance on a broke kid from Vancouver, Washington, and to pull it off for him, I can't believe it. I mean, I just can't believe it. I really can't.
Well, a huge congratulations to you. You get to grab that checkered flag, take 1 more lap around the track. We're going to grab David Daugherty next. David, we just got word from the booth.
No.
We just got the story that you actually legally own the tires on this car. Talk to me about that.
Well, we're the 3 cars that were up front were all on Hoosier tires, and he didn't have the best Hoosier tire. So I gave him a set to run, and I knew he could do this if anything went wrong, and congratulations to Kyle. That's an awesome win for Hoosier.
A win for Hoosier, a win for Kia, the first win for Kia in SCCA club racing competition. You were chasing a record here, but you still handed the goods to the kid to give him a chance. It's a great display of sportsmanship. Let's talk about your race a little bit. The last lap, it looked like you had that mini on a hook and you were just reeling as hard as you could.
I did, but we were right at our limit. I could have dove bomb him down here, but that's not racing. You know, we raced clean. I don't think we had any B-Spec tangle ups. The guys drove great. I can't wait to come back next year and run with them again. My Nissan Versa just needs a little tweaking, give us a little more power. We'll be right there.
So hard to believe, David Daughtry, you're looking for a little bit more power out of a B-Spec car. Congratulations, third place gold medal or bronze medal here at the SCCA National Championship Runoffs. We are looking for second spot in B-Spec. Let's see. Travis Washay, second place in B-Spec in the Mini Cooper. The last lap, did you see anything out of the windshield, or were your eyes on David Daughtry the whole time?
I was going forward. I was just watching backwards. David's an amazing driver. I've always been, I was worried about him from the start. I knew he was going to be a great competitor. He's very clean. He's a kind driver. So yeah, I actually had dinner with him the other night when we were at the SCCA Awards banquet. It was just a great run. Caught Keenan there for a little bit, but drove my tires off trying to get there, hoping his would drop off. But I just drove a little bit faster and used a little bit more tire. That's all right. We had a great race, no carnage. All our cars seemed to come back in one piece, which is great. Got to thank Mini for making an amazing car. 138,000 original miles. Got to love it. BFG has been so kind to me all year, and my family, my wife, everybody's just been amazing. My crew. So we're out from Connecticut, so it's just been a dream trip for us to come out.
Well, big congratulations to you on the silver medal in B-Spec. We're going to move back to T4 now and see if we can find. We have Izzy available? Right. Izzy Sanchez, if we could get you to step over here for just a moment. Bronze medal finisher in Touring 4. Izzy, if this track is 40 feet wide, you must have made this RX-8 39.5 feet wide for a good chunk of this race. How was this for you?
Well, it's been 33 years. I think at 1983 when I won my last national championship. I've been doing other things since then, but I came back to this. So being on the podium with a car we bought 2 weeks ago because the Mustang was no longer competitive in this class. We just bought it, worked on it nonstop. My guys, Omar, my brother Luis, AJ, obviously my wife who hasn't seen me in like a month and a half. She's coming down right now. But it was great. And the car misfired. I think the fuel pump went. So that's what I couldn't make it any wider by then.
We were noticing a little bit of smoke from the car at shifts. The stereotypical Mazda breath of fire there. So a fuel problem makes sense. The guys in the booth thought there might have been a little bit of a tire going away towards the end of the race. How was your grip at the end?
Well, the grip, the grip went away a little bit. I was surprised because the Hoosiers never go away. I mean, I raced them all year and they stick like crazy. So I don't know if the track got oily because everybody was lighting, everybody, not just me. But I want to thank Mazda for making the, I raced an RX-2, RX-3, RX-7, every kind, and now an RX-8, so they need to make more rotaries.
All right, going for the match set of RX finishes here at the Runoff. Congratulations to you on the bronze.
Thank you so much. I just want to thank Corona Bumpers and Custom Alignment, who's been working on the car nonstop. This is for everybody, and thank you guys.
All right, congratulations. We've got one more finisher we need to find from Touring 3, our second place finisher. We've got the car right here. Where did the driver go? So guys, let's go upstairs and we'll grab him and we'll grab him and be right back down here.
Sounds good. Obviously, that's one busy place down there.
Sure is,
with
second place and
6 medalists down there, and a couple of gold medal winners, and some great interviews, and fully on display the camaraderie that we're talking about, the sportsmanship of Sports Car Club of America. And David Daughtry, I mean, in the dictionary under nice guy, that really ought to be his picture.
Oh, it should be. I mean, gives him a set of the good Hoosier tires, and he ends up beating them for the national championship in B-Spec, and said, hey, I could have dove bombed him, but that's not racing. I mean, just what a great guy and a good hero. Good to have in B-Spec and Pearly World Challenge. And when he's going to come out and run, he got a free entry.
Absolutely.
So we'll see him there, hopefully in that Nissan Versa note, an 8-time runoff champion wow, just good
Class
to
act.
talk about that.
It's great to have him back in the runoffs. You know, he has a huge amount of success, certainly when the runoffs were at Mid-Ohio. One of my favorite moments of him, he's been a long-time Nissan guy, and the pole lap that he had at Mid-Ohio this year, I don't remember what, specifically. I was working a corner, and I was at the top of the S's when you come down that long, back straight with the kink, and then up into the S's there, and I was up at the corner station right at the apex, and he came through on the lap that ended up being pole. He was laughing, he was giggling, and it was just, I talked to him afterwards and I said, were you giggling? And he said, I was. He said, this track is so much fun. He goes, I can just put that car anywhere. And he said, I was just grinning ear to ear. And he said, I was chortling. I really was. It was so much fun. That's how much he loves this.
Oh, that's great to see, and good to see there.
So let's take a look at our results. We've got a couple of different results panels to show you. This is the unofficial results in T4 again. Daniel Bender, congratulations on a national champion. Champion is 0-1, Tom Wickersham into second. We're going to still try and get an interview with him if we can find him. And then in third, Izzy Sanchez. What a great story. Back earning medals after 1983, getting the gold back then in Showroom GT. Then Ali Namey, that finished by, again, 47 one-thousandths of a second, just getting by Lee Niffenegger for fourth, Niffenegger fifth. Lance Stewart, again, fighting his way up into the top six in that Mustang. Matt Stahl ending up seventh. Timothy Wise, spin and all, still ends up in the eighth spot. And in ninth, Lynn Griffiths, and completing your top 10, the number 33 of Tony Lopez in the T4 ranks. So I think we may have found Mr. Wickersham, Hayward.
Here with Tom Wickersham, second spot in Touring 4. Tom, you had to make a move there to getting towards the end of the race to get around the RX-8. Talk me through that.
Oh, he's just kind of holding me up in the corners, out motoring me, and a lot of work, and finally kind of made some passes I'd rather not make, but we had to.
It did look like it was getting to be an exercise in frustration there towards the end. Congratulations on getting around him. I was told that's a candidate for the GoPro Hero Move of the race on that pass. So congratulations to you on that. Congratulations on the silver medal.
Thank you very much.
Guys, we'll send it back upstairs.
Well, the car is silver. It's a light silver that's almost chrome, so chrome horn.
There you go. Got it. I like that. Put it to him.
We play that out, and I'll tell you, heck of a run he put on. I mean, when you've got a car that's got you in the motor department a little bit, you just have to be relentless in the pressure that you continue to heap on, and he was that, and it ended up paying off. So a tremendous, tremendous day for him. Let's take a look now at our results in B-Spec, and again, Kyle Keenan. As he said, I've been waiting 15 years to talk to you, and he gets it done. Is now a national champion, a free entry into the Pirelli World Challenge in B-Spec. What a day for Kyle Keenan, Travis Wache, and David Daugherty. Another incredibly close battle right to the line.
Yeah, did a good job there, finishing in third. Another medal to him. I don't think he's got place on his wall anymore for the medals and the trophies he's got.
Yeah, and Michael Say right there in fourth. Brian Kelm coming up into fifth. James Wilson, after a long drive from Austin, Texas, that area of Texas, coming home, almost making the top five, and he's going to drive that same car right back home again because there's not a scratch on it. James, that is an awesome story. Seventh, Derek Ambrose. Eighth, the number 19 of Scott Lovewell. Ninth, the number 11 of Thomas Grossart, and completing the top 10. Again, even with that stop, they figured out what the problem was. He came back, was running some really quick laps. It was just way too far back to be able to make anything happen. But again, a 12-time national champion, John Heinrichsey, he could have parked it and crawled out and said, nah, I'm not in it. That's not what John Heinrichsey is about. He finishes a race. So there is your top 10 unofficial in the B-Spec category. So this is the first one we've had, Jeff, this weekend where we've had two races within a race, and both of them ended up being very entertaining.
Oh, absolutely. I don't think we had enough cameras to cover all the action that was going on this race, and that just tells you about how close the competition is in the SCCA runoffs and the T4 and B-Spec class.
Absolutely. They were both absolutely superb, and there's a lot more yet to come today as we have 7 more races will unfold here in this final day of the 2014 SCCA National Championship runoffs at Mazda Raceway Laguna Seca. Again, the first time in 46 years the runoffs are on the West Coast, and it is a glorious moment. Lots more to come for Jeff Lepper and Hayward Wagner. I'm Greg Creamer. We'll see you next time. Take care. The 2014 SCCA National Championship runoffs are being brought to you in HD by Mazda. Conviction, creativity, courage. This is the Mazda way. And by Hankook, driving emotion.
Some people go to enormous lengths in the name of safety, like the inventor of the flame-resistant racing suit, Bill Simpson. Courageous engineering is also the Mazda way, and why the 2014 Mazda 3 has an available class-exclusive suite of 8 safety features and a top safety rating. Because when it comes to safety, you can never go too far. This is the 2014 Mazda 3. What do you drive?
This is Kenny. Kenny is a dentist, but he races autocross on the weekends. But he's not thinking about his tires right now. Kenny buys all his tires from TireRack.com. Using their exclusive test track reviews, he knows he's always getting the right tires for his car. But Kenny's not thinking about tires right now. Kenny's thinking, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man, oh man. This is awesome. TireRack.com, proud sponsor of the Tire Rack SCCA National Solo Program.
The machines and their manufacturers span the planet. This is no spec series. Diversity breeds excellence and brings battle. Ride with the best and test the iconic circuits of North America. No pit stops, no quarter. The world watches and knows this is how racing should be.